In your own words, how would you describe PMST's mission at DHA?
So the PM for Medical Simulation and Training's mission at DHA is purposely simple, and it's to save lives and improve healthcare through simulation. And we do that using the Defense Acquisition System. We take a requirement as identified by our users or our stakeholders and see that all the way through the process to deliver a capability. And we're there every step of the way, working with our requiring activity, working with the contracting folks, and then eventually deliver and sustain a product. We also work closely with the commercial industry on the civilian side. You know, you're simulating a human body, right, in medical simulation. It's not a tank, it's not an Apache helicopter, it's the human body. So obviously we want to share best practices and procedures and other technological findings with industry on the commercial side. So we do that as well. But at the end of the day, it's always save lives and improve healthcare through simulation.
What do you consider your most important leadership priorities?
So my most important leadership priorities as program manager, there are two things. It's the people and it's our stakeholders. So the people on my team, obviously we can't do what we do without them, and I've got a great team. As I said, they honed their skills on the Army side, and now we're bringing that to DHA. And it's my job as the leader and as their supervisor and their manager, I create the environment for which they can flourish. And I give them what they need, I defend them and I protect them, I train, coach, mentor them, and help them to do their job without any obstacles. And that's my priority. My other priority, of course, is the people we serve. And that's our stakeholders, the docs, the nurses, clinicians, and then the combat medics out there that need what we're providing to be ready and to be trained and able to do their jobs, and goes back to save lives, using simulation to save lives. And there is no greater feeling than having a soldier come up to you and say, you know what, that device there that you put there, that capability, it either saved my life or saved my buddy's life. And I've had that happen to me more than once. And that puts you on top of the world for that period of time when you hear that. That's why we're here. We call that the why, actually. That's why we're here.
How do you feel your time working for both the Navy and the Army helped prepare you for your current position?
So my time with the Navy and the Army, and I hired in 1987 when it was the Naval Training System Center over where Baldwin Park is now. And I hired in as an electronics engineer. I was a project engineer. I was very fortunate that I had some mentors that helped me and kind of showed me the ropes and the ways of doing business in DOD and especially on the civilian side. And I grew from there. Greater complexity, more diverse technologies. Then I transitioned to PEO STRI, and that was in 1995. A lot of folks were transitioning from the Navy to the Army at that time, and that just kind of seemed the thing to do. The Army seemed like a better place to work, and in hindsight, it was for me, definitely. There's no doubt about that. So on the Army side, I grew as a project engineer into a systems engineer, eventually transitioned over to the program manager side and worked my way up there until I was eventually deputy project manager, and then for a little while I was actually the project manager. But there was a time in STRI that all of the deputy project managers were former engineers. So I'm kind of proud of that. It's a logical evolution that, you're in engineering, you want to see the whole scope of things and look at it from start to finish, as they say, cradle to grave. And that you bring that, it's like, okay, I want to influence more, and a lot of engineers want to grow to be program managers, and that's just kind of a logical evolution. So I bring that, and those are the things that I've learned. And I've also learned how to deal with people. I tell my folks this all the time, that being a supervisor in DOD, and maybe anywhere else for that matter, but You're part mother, father, coach, teacher, policeman, psychiatrist, friend, and all those things in between, leader, obviously. And it brings all that with it, and you can't read it in a book. I don't care how many leadership books you see, but you have to live it to be able to really be skilled and able to do those things in a manner which they need to be done.
What challenges and/or opportunities do you see on the horizon for PMMST?
So the challenges and opportunities, and this might sound like a cheesy kind of answer, but the challenges and opportunities are kind of one and the same. DHA, like any other agency, is facing some pretty extreme fiscal challenges. So we have to look at everything we do, and we're being asked to provide value proposition to what it is we're doing. So in our line of work, save lives and improve health care, how do you put a value on a human life? Well, you don't. What you put a value on is the way that we deliver those capabilities and those enablers that they need, those stakeholders I talked about earlier, the things they need to provide those life-saving capabilities. And that's in the processes we use. Are we getting more for less, which is now the expectation? Are we efficient in the way we do things, or are our resources right-sized so that we can go out there and use the procurement process and get the taxpayer and the stakeholder, the users, the best bang for the buck? So like I said at the beginning, it's a challenge and it's an opportunity to do that. And I think we're succeeding there, but you always want, the goal is always more for less.
Which specific PMMST programs are you especially looking forward to developing in the future?
So specific MST programs I look forward to are all of them. We have programs that we're developing now that are going into the hospitals that are going to save pregnant mother and newborn babies' lives, and I can't be more proud of that. We're about to put a request for proposal on the street that's going to eventually end up in a capability at those military hospitals that do OB training, and I'm very proud of that. We're also working on a concept and an enterprise-wide requirement across all of the military treatment facilities, and they all have something in common, some common need in the simulation area. So if we can collect that and again make it, use economies of scale, use efficiencies, and give them what they need at a better cost to the government, to the taxpayer, do it more effectively and more efficiently, we're going to do that too. And then finally, the combat medics out there. We're training Special Forces combat medics. We've got a device that's being used as we speak, teaching them prolonged casualty care and also some of the other special tactics and techniques that the Special Forces use in treating battlefield injuries. So that's being used now, and I'm very proud of that as well.
What are your favorite hobbies or interests that aren't on your resume?
So being Italian, it's always going to be food and drink, right? I love to cook, I love to eat, and I also, over the past several years, I've been making my own beer, which is exciting. And I make it on a limited basis for obvious reasons. I think I'd be, upwards of 400 pounds if I drank all the beer I made. And I like to share it too. But it's exciting to make something yourself and then have that and it be so good. I also like to fish, as we discussed earlier. And that's not, I don't have a boat, I just fish from the shore, and I'll go out after work and burn off a little stress and catch a few largemouth bass and release them and go back the next day, weather permitting, and do it again.